Let me tell you about the wildest story from my parents' college days, a tale that still gives our family goosebumps every Thanksgiving. Back in 1989, my dad, Jake Russo, and his best friend, Mike Carter, were Florida-bound college kids with more recklessness than common sense. They'd been crushing on my mom, Sarah Whitaker, and her roommate for months, and this spring break trip was supposed to be their big chance to finally ask them out. The plan was simple. Meet Sarah and her friends at the Sunset Palms Motel near Daytona Beach by 8 p.m. But Jake and Mike, distracted by arcade games and cheap beer, lost track of time. By 7:45 p.m., they were still 5 miles away, sweating through their neon tank tops on the side of Highway 1. Hitchhiking seemed smarter than walking. What could go wrong? A rusted Pontiac Firebird screeched to a halt beside them. Behind the wheel was a woman in her 30s with frizzy blonde hair and a cigarette dangling from her lips. Her passenger, a younger brunette, stared straight ahead, silent. "Hop in, boys," the driver barked. "But no funny business." Jake later told me the vibe felt off from the start. The car reeked of stale smoke and bourbon, and the backseat vinyl stuck to their legs. Still, the women were chatty, asking about their majors, joking about Florida's humidity. Everything changed when the driver suddenly veered into a gas station. "Mind if we fuel up first?" she asked, though it wasn't really a question. They watched her pump $20 worth of gas, then slam the nozzle back without paying. Before Jake could say, "Ma'am?" the Firebird peeled onto the highway, tires screaming. Mike whispered, "Dude, we're in a getaway car," half laughing, until the driver yanked a .22 revolver from under her seat. "You gonna be a problem?" she snarled, waving the barrel between them. Jake swore his heart stopped. No, ma'am," he stammered, hands raised like he'd seen in cop shows. Mike just kept nodding, his Adam's apple bobbing. The brunette finally spoke. "They're just kids, Lee. Let it go." The rest of the ride was silent, except for the rumble of the engine. When the motel's neon sign finally appeared, the woman, Lee, slowed the car and hissed, "Get out. Don't look back." Sarah still laughs about how pale they looked stumbling into the lobby. "Like they'd seen a ghost," she says. The story became a running joke. Until 2 years later, when Jake called Mike at 2 a.m., shouting at a TV news report, "That's her! The Hitchhiker Killer!" Aileen Wuornos' mugshot filled the screen, the same hollow eyes, the same frizzy hair. Over 7 months in 1990, she'd murdered 7 men, execution style, after picking them up on Florida highways. "We survived because we treated her like a human being," Jake insists. Wuornos targeted men who harassed or assaulted her, and my dad and Mike? They'd called her ma'am, avoided staring, thanked her for the ride. To this day, my mom teases him. "Your dad's one compliment away from a serial killer's nice guy Hall of Fame." But when the jokes fade, we all get quiet. There's a photo on our fridge from that trip. Jake and Mike, arms slung around Sarah and her friends, grinning under the Florida sun. A reminder that luck, sometimes, wears the face of politeness.